Gyratory crusher, cone crusher also, right? And roll crusher also. Anyway, so and also we have discussed whatever energy we are providing, right? Whatever energy we are providing for crushing or grinding or for size reduction, from that energy only 0.1 to 1% of energy is utilized for crushing or grinding for size reduction, and other energy are getting lost. How other energy are getting lost? Can you tell me? Friction, heat, noise, sound, right? Vibrations also. So a lot of energy we are losing actually. So this is one of the assignment I have given, and this will be like you have innovative project. So I expect one of you will take this one as an innovative project. This one, any of you? Yeah. Okay, fine. 2-3 people can take, but in different way you can take.
Yes.
In different way. You need to find out the solution, how we can reduce the energy consumption, right? Or how we can increase the efficiency of crushing or efficiency of grinding, or how we can minimize noise, or how we can minimize the heat or vibrations. Like it may be design aspect of the equipment, maybe you can do some modification or some you can apply some new technology. Anyway, yeah, you can design a new crusher also. Because you know the mechanism of crushing, mostly compression, right? We are compressing the material. Okay, fine. So today, this is a very interesting class. I will talk about some advancement in the crushing or grinding. So this advancement actually happens due to so that we can reduce the energy consumption. This is a very good topic. You may get a question also from this in the exam. So see, the concept is microwave assisted size reduction. So that means we are going to use microwave. First, we treat the mineral in microwave, then we will go for crushing or then we will go for grinding. The first step will be microwave treatment. Then next will be your crushing or grinding. And by this way we can reduce lot of energy, or we can go for lot of liberation. Because our main aim is to liberate more, right? By spending less amount of energy, we can liberate more. That is our main aim, objective, right? So, okay, fine. Before moving into that, let me tell you another important point. It doesn't mean, suppose this is a big mineral and your valuable mineral is like this. It doesn't mean it will happen always. So this is a valuable mineral. And these are all gangs. Outside is gang and this is valuable. It doesn't mean that mineral will be like this. Right? It may be like this, it may be like this, maybe like this. These are valuable minerals, these are gangs. So this is called actually texture. How the minerals are arranged in a particular, or how the valuable minerals are arranged in the total mineral. Right? So that is arrangement is also for texture. Fine. Or it may be arranged like this, maybe here also, maybe some dots. So randomly it is present. Maybe the situation, right? Or maybe like this. So can you tell me which one is easy to do liberation out of these? See, these are valuable minerals. Actually, these are valuable minerals. These are valuable. The shaded lines are valuable mineral, others are gang. So which one is you can liberate easily? Last one, very good. Because once you do one crushing, maybe this will come out. This will come out. Right? But very difficult will be what? This is very difficult. Because distribution is kind of uniform, or this one is also better somewhat. This one is also somewhat better. Right? But this one is very easy. You understood? Because the valuable minerals are at the boundaries. You don't have to go for a lot of crushing. In one crushing, maybe you can liberate, or two crushing you can liberate. Many times crushing will be not required. Or maybe by primary crushing you can do it. You don't have to go for secondary crushing. Right? So the point is, people are trying to do a lot of research on this. Already research is going on. They try to break the mineral at the interface. Interface, you understood? Interface means, suppose this is a valuable mineral, this is a gang mineral, and this portion is interface. Interface is the surface between valuable mineral and gang mineral. On that interface, if you develop some stress, stress means you are generating some force there, so that it will break. Like for example, mica is easy to break, because they are layered structure. Already they are layered structure. In between the layer you are generating the stresses, so it will easily break out. There is no issue, right? But if the distribution is like this, it is very difficult to do liberation. So you do something so that the stress will generate only at the boundaries. At the boundaries. Only at the boundaries the stress should be generated, or at the interface. So this is the interface, right? This is the interface between your gang and value. This is the interface, right? So this is another innovative topic. Somebody can choose how we can generate stresses only at the interface of the valuable mineral and the gang mineral. If you can do, then liberation will be better, and you don't have to spend much of energy. So this is another innovative you can take somebody. So that's why I am moving into this one, microwave assisted sintering. This is the solution actually. So if you treat the mineral first in microwave, that will generate the stress at the interface of the valuable mineral and gang mineral. How we can discuss that now? Achha, can you tell me, anybody have microwave in your home? Anybody of you? Anybody is using microwave in your home? Microwave in your home? You are using, very good. Mostly you are using for what? Pizza, okay. And anything else? Cakes. So the point why you are using particularly such kind of material, because they have moisture. If you take pizza or if you take a cake, they have lot of moisture, water molecules, right? So water molecule, can you know what is the structure of water molecule? Do you remember that? It's actually, water molecule is a dipole. It has one positive end, one negative end. It's H2O, right? People think that this is, suppose H2O, no? Suppose, okay, fine. This is oxygen and this is hydrogen, this is hydrogen. Is this a structure of water? No, this is not the structure of water. It forms an angle. So you people know, very good. Like this. So this is hydrogen, and this is oxygen, right? So that means this hydrogen and this hydrogen is making an angle, right? Here. Listen carefully. Water molecule is not a straight molecule, like this. This is wrong. Water molecule is like this. So you people know that hydrogen basically carries positive charge and oxygen is always carrying negative charge, electronegativity if you remember. Which one is more electronegative, oxygen or hydrogen? Oxygen. So oxygen is more electronegative, means it will carry more negative charge, right? So residual negative charge will be here and residual positive charge will be here, right? Now you understand my point? So if you divide this into two parts, so this part is positive and this part is negative. Is it okay? So it becomes a dipole. Dipole means two poles will be there. One end of the pole is positive, one end of the pole will be negative. Is it clear up to this? So water molecules are basically dipole in nature. Dipole means two poles will be there. One pole will be positive, one pole will be negative. Like this. One side H plus is there, no? Residual H plus. So that is positive end, this end is negative end. So it becomes a dipole. So when we are applying microwave, that microwave is getting absorbed by this water molecule. And what is happening? Actually, we are providing which kind of electricity? Alternating current electricity in homes, right? Alternating current, if people know. This will go to positive, then it will go to negative end. Again it will go to 0, then it will go to positive, then again negative, right? So alternating current is like this, no? So that means the polarity of alternating current is changing with time, right? It go to positive end and go to negative. With time it is changing continuously, but DC current is straight. It don't change its pole, right? So what exactly happening? This dipole, these water molecules, they start oscillating at a very high frequency. That means per second maybe they are oscillating 1000 or maybe million times. Right? Why? Because suppose, for example, this is the positive cycle. The electricity in the positive cycle. This pole is like this. This water molecule is like this. But the moment it will go downward. So what will happen? The oxygen will come this side and water molecule will, H plus will come this side. Right? Again, suppose it is going toward positive direction. So what will happen? Again, this is the situation. Again, when it will move to the negative side, alternating current, again H plus will come to this side and oxygen will move to this side. So what will happen? The water molecule will continuously oscillate, and it will oscillate maybe 1000 or million times per second. It depends upon the microwave energy, how much energy of microwave you are providing, right? So if we are providing alternating current, due to changing the alternating current poles, this water molecule oscillates 1000 million times per second. So what will happen? Lot of water molecules will be there. So each molecules are oscillating at a very high frequency, you can say, right? So there will be friction between the molecules. So due to friction between the molecules, lot of heat energy will be evolved, and that will help you in the baking of cake or pizza or whatever, right? So moisture is very much required. So similarly, minerals are basically, lot of minerals are basically dielectric materials. So you have to remember, microwave basically works on the dielectric materials. If your material is dielectric means they have more dielectric losses, or dielectric materials, they actually absorb the microwave. Can you tell me what is the base or what is the container we are using in microwave? Glass, are you sure? Some ceramic material. We never use any metallic plate. Your mom will not going to use a metallic plate to keep the cake or pizza in the microwave. Some ceramic material will be there, right? So ceramic materials, minerals are also basically ceramics, right? So they are dielectric materials. So dielectric materials have high dielectric constant or high dielectric losses. They will lose the heat very quickly or at a very fast rate. And they have dipoles also. Like similarly, water molecules have dipoles. So ceramic materials also have dipoles in it. And you have to remember, this is a very important concept. Suppose you are going to use a metal. What will happen? If you keep a metal into a microwave, what will happen? The microwave will come and fall on the metal and it will get reflected actually. It will not absorb. So the condition is that particular mineral or particular material should first absorb the microwave. Three things will be happening, right? Whenever a wave is coming, what is the three situation? One is reflection may happen, one it may absorb, or one it may transmit through it, right? So basically these minerals or dielectric materials or these water molecules, they actually absorb the microwave and they oscillate. Same thing will happen in the mineral also. If you allow the microwave to fall on the minerals, so what will happen? You understood, minerals are made up of many substances. Some gang substance will be there, some valuable substance will be there, right? Suppose example iron ore, you take iron ore. Iron ore has silica in it, it has alumina in it, it has Fe2O3 is in it, right? So lot of different material is in it, and different material have different dielectric property or dielectric constant, whatever I can say. Suppose the dielectric property of silica will be different from dielectric property of alumina, and it will be different from the dielectric property of Fe2O3. These are three things, for example. So each minerals have different substance, and different substance have different dielectric property or dielectric nature. So what will happen? They will absorb the microwave in a different way. Somebody may absorb more, somebody may absorb less, somebody may reflect, or somebody may transmit like this. So what will happen? At the end, can you tell me? If this is the situation, in a particular mineral, you have three substances, and these three substances have different microwave property or dielectric property. So what will happen at the end? No, the rate of heating or heat generation in that particular material will be different because they are behaving in a different way, right? So somebody may heat it up more, somebody may heat it up less, somebody may not heat it up, right? Up to this it is clear, right? So that means it will lead to differential in heating, and once differential in heating will occur, what will happen? Expansion will be different. Somebody which will heat it up more, it will expand more. If somebody will not heat it up, it will not expand at all. If somebody will heat it up less, it will expand less, right? So due to differential in heating and due to differential in expansion, what will happen? Cracks will generate, of course, right? Cracks will generate. So that means you have initiated the cracks by doing microwave assisted thing, right? That is the main aim. So already cracks have generated. That means you have already generated the flaws in the mineral. Now you go for crushing. What will happen? It will easily break out. Yes. You don't have to spend a lot of energy because already you have created the cracks, right? But if you go directly for crushing, then you need to generate cracks. That cracks will propagate and finally it will become two layers. You people know these things, right? Whenever you are applying a load on a material or you are applying any tensile stress or compressive stress, first crack should be there, or maybe you have to generate a crack. Basically all the materials have crack initially. You have to remember. if you consider any steel or aluminium, they have already a flaws. Maybe a porosity will be there, that will act as a crack, that will finally propagate and become two layers. For example, this is the material. I have a porosity, so this will act as a flaw itself. This porosity will act as a flaw. When you apply load on it, for example, what will happen? Sorry, you apply a tensile load, not compressive, tensile load. What will happen? This will become a crack. Then it will propagate like this, and it will become two parts. Fine. So my point is, we are doing microwave assisted treatment first before crushing or grinding, so that we can generate lot of cracks in the material. How these cracks will be generated? Because mineral have different components or different substance, and each substance have different nature or dielectric property. So because of difference in dielectric property, the heating up will be different. The rate of heating will be different. So if the rate of heating will be different, they will expand in a different way. Somebody will expand more, somebody will expand less, or somebody may not expand. So if differential expansion will be there, so stresses will be generating, no, obviously. If differential expansion will be there, the stress will generate. And once stress will generate, cracks will form. So already you have crack, now you go for crushing or grinding. So you can minimize lot of energy. So people have seen, they have minimized 30% of energy by doing this microwave assisted process first. So this is actually a pre-processing, you can say. Before crushing or grinding, you do pre-processing, that is microwave treatment. Is it clear up to this? Fine. So this is an actually advancement. People are doing a lot of research nowadays. But what is the limitation? Can you tell me? What may be the limitation? Microwave process is very expensive actually. The microwave system is actually a very expensive process. The home microwave is a very small microwave, but in the mineral processing you have to use very big microwaves, and that will consume lot of electricity and lot of power. So that is one of the problem actually. So maybe your initial cost will be very high. Maybe your initial cost will be very high when you are going to install a microwave, but later process will be easy. So by doing microwave assisted crushing or grinding, we can improve the liberation, we can improve the recovery, we can minimize the energy consumption during crushing and grinding. So these are the advantages. We can increase the liberation, we can increase the recovery, we can increase the, or we can decrease the energy consumption. Is it fine? So this is very interesting, right? So somebody can take this one also if you want. Particularly on microwave assisted mineral processing. Somebody can take this. You can do some advancement in this also. Some changes. Or you can, or I can help you, like you can choose, see, another limitation will be, there will be another limitation. One is the cost. Initial cost will be very high. But there will be another problem will be what? All material cannot absorb the microwave. All minerals cannot absorb the microwave, right? So in that case it will not work actually. If a mineral is there that is not absorbing microwave, or it is absorbing very less, so that will not give you benefit actually. You are putting lot of energy, microwave energy, but it is not absorbing the microwave. It is not it is not absorbing at all. So that is a limitation. You cannot work on that mineral. So that is an innovative idea. You can take it. So these are three ideas I have given. You can take it. Fine. So we'll move to the crusher. That is, you can write impact crusher. Impact crusher, or basically you can write that is hammer wheel kind of. Hammer wheel. So hammer wheel, how I can draw it? You can see. This is impact crusher. So its simple meaning is the mechanism is impact mechanism, right? The crushing mechanism is impact. Impact means suppose this is a constant plate is there and you are throwing some mineral onto this. At a very high velocity you are throwing. Suppose I will take a mineral and that background is very hard. I will throw a mineral like this at a very high velocity. So it will go and strike. The moment it will strike, that is the impact force actually. So the impact mill or impact crusher or hammer mill works on the mechanism of impact. So impact will be more if you provide more kinetic energy, right? More kinetic energy means you provide the mineral a very high velocity, so it will acquire more kinetic energy. So more kinetic energy means there will be more impact between the plate and the mineral. The moment the mineral will hit the plate, so what will happen? The moment the mineral will hit the plate, what will happen? Lot of stress will generate in the mineral itself, and that lot of stress will break down or crush the mineral into fine particles. This is the mechanism. Again I am saying, when we are providing high velocity to the minerals, so that mineral will travel and heat a plate. So what will happen? There will be an impact between the mineral and the plate. So the moment there will be impact, the mineral will generate lot of stress in it due to this impact, and that stress will help you to break down the mineral into fine particles, right? So that is impact pressure. So this diagram is very clear actually. Just see this one. Okay, this one is rotating like this. So there is a rotor here, and these are the blades kind of thing, or this will pick up the mineral, right? So you are feeding the mineral in this direction. So minerals are actually feeded in a free fall condition. The minerals are moving in a free fall condition. So this is rotating. So what will happen? This will fall on this. So this will carry your mineral, and the moment it will rotate like this, and what happens? This will throw the mineral onto the plates. So these are your breaking plates actually. These are breaking plates. Or hard plates, so whatever it is. A breaker plate or whatever, breaking plate or breaker plate. Is it fine? The minerals are falling freely, and this is a rotor, this is rotating, this will pick up the mineral, and this is rotating at a high velocity, right? So it will throw the mineral on this plate. These plates are very hard actually. These are hard plates. This is one plate, so this will go and come back again. Again it will pick up by this rotor, again it will throw the mineral on this next plate. So one kind of breaking, then next breaking, and finally it will come out. And there will be some screen, there will be a screen here. So what is the function of screen? So it will separate the mineral, it will have oversized and undersized. Undersized mineral will pass away, oversized mineral will again pick up, and it will throw the mineral onto the hard plate. Right? It's very simple. The working mechanism is very simple. Okay, I would like to end the class here. So